Imagine walking into a candy store as a child, the shelves are lined with hundreds of different chocolates, candies, and treats. At first, your eyes widen, a smile spreads across your face, you are in paradise. And yet, after a few minutes, a strange feeling creeps in. How do you choose? Should you pick the chocolate with caramel, the one with nuts, the one with sea salt? How can you possibly decide when every option seems better than the next? Now imagine that feeling multiplied across every major decision in your adult life. Choosing a career, selecting a life partner, picking an insurance plan, or deciding which course to take. Our modern world, with endless options at our fingertips, promises freedom and empowerment, but often delivers something darker: paralysis, doubt, and regret. This is the essence of the paradox of choice, a psychological phenomenon that reveals the hidden cost of abundance. Psychologist Barry Schwartz, in his groundbreaking work, described how the more choices humans face, the less satisfied they are, and the more anxiety they experience. Our brains, wonderful as they are not designed to process limitless options. Too many alternatives do not liberate us, they overwhelm us. And while freedom of choice sounds like an unmitigated good, in practice, it can be suffocating. Consider Sophie, a graphic designer who recently moved to a new city. She walks into a restaurant with a menu that offers over 50 dishes. She wants to pick something delicious, but she cannot settle. Every time she narrows it down to 3 options, a new doubt arises. What if I miss out on something better? She leaves the restaurant frustrated, hungry, and dissatisfied. That sense of dissatisfaction lingers because when faced with too many options, we instinctively measure not just the choice we make, but the ones we didn't take. We imagine them as lost opportunities, and our brains punish us for missing out. This is called choice overload. When we have too many options, our decision-making slows and our satisfaction drops. It's why people feel stressed shopping for cars, choosing investments, or even picking a movie on streaming platforms. The more choices, the heavier the weight of responsibility, and the more likely we are to second-guess ourselves. But why does this happen? One reason is expectation inflation. When confronted with countless options, we naturally expect that at least one of them will be perfect. Every choice carries the implicit promise, this could be the absolute best. And when reality inevitably falls short of that imagined ideal, disappointment follows. We are not merely choosing, we are holding our options to impossible standards, and the more options we have, the higher the bar we set. The paradox deepens when we consider regret. Humans are prone to imagining alternate outcomes. Every time we make a choice, we compare it to the alternatives we rejected. Did I choose the wrong career path? Should I have picked a different city to live in? Would another product have brought more satisfaction? With more options comes more comparison, and with more comparison comes more potential regret. The very abundance meant to free us subtly imprisons us in indecision and doubt. Interestingly, this effect also influences our perception of fairness and control. When people are given many options but must choose one, studies show they often feel less autonomous and more anxious than those with fewer choices. Freedom, it turns out, is not simply the ability to choose, it is the perceived capacity to make the right choice without suffering. And paradoxically, the more choices we have, the more we fear failure, and the less empowered we feel. There's a fascinating twist. The paradox does not only affect satisfaction, it also affects our sense of identity. We often tie our decisions to who we are. Choosing the perfect car, job, or partner becomes a reflection of ourselves. When options are infinite, the pressure to pick correctly feels like a reflection of our self-worth. It's not just a decision, it's a judgment on us as individuals. And when we make a choice, we can never know if it is objectively the best, leaving us vulnerable to lingering doubt. But there's hope. Humans can navigate the paradox of choice if we understand its hidden mechanics. One strategy is limiting options deliberately. Instead of browsing endlessly, we constrain our options. 2 or 3 carefully selected paths instead of dozens. This is what elite designers, CEOs, and high performers do intuitively. They recognize that less choice often produces more clarity, more satisfaction, and even more creative energy. Another strategy is satisficing instead of maximizing. A maximizer is someone who seeks the absolute best in every situation, while a satisficer looks for an option that is good enough and moves forward. Maximizers often fall prey to anxiety, regret, and indecision. Satisficers experience greater contentment and progress. It's a subtle shift in mindset, but it changes the way we interact with choices profoundly. Consider the story of David, a young entrepreneur. When starting his first company, he faced endless software platforms, marketing strategies, and hiring options. Initially, he tried to analyze every possible route, becoming paralyzed. Eventually, he decided to limit his focus to 3 viable strategies and commit to one. By constraining his options, he unlocked clarity, confidence, and decisive action. The result? His company launched successfully, and the relief and satisfaction of completing a decision without endless comparison became almost euphoric. The paradox of choice also intersects with our social lives. Dating apps, social media feeds, and professional networks offer near infinite connections. While abundance promises connection, it often leads to superficial engagement, fleeting satisfaction, and chronic FOMO, fear of missing out. We swipe endlessly, hoping the perfect match exists, but endless alternatives prevent commitment and contentment. Even seemingly small decisions can trigger the paradox. Should you order a pizza with 4 toppings or 3? Should you pick the red notebook or the blue one? Should you watch this series or that one? Our brains treat these choices as miniature mirrors of our competence and judgment. Every small decision accumulates, subtly shaping anxiety, confidence, and satisfaction over time. And yet there is beauty in this paradox. Awareness of its existence gives us the power to reclaim control. By recognizing the psychological trap, we can design our environments, habits, and options to maximize clarity and satisfaction. It's not about avoiding choice, it's about curating it wisely. A simple experiment: limit your options tomorrow. Pick 1 breakfast meal instead of browsing endlessly. Choose 3 possible tasks for the day and commit to one. Notice the sense of relief, the reduction in mental friction, and the boost in confidence. The paradox is not a punishment, it's a lens through which to see how our minds are wired and how mastery of simplicity can bring freedom. Finally, consider the deeper lesson. Modern life promises freedom through abundance, yet our brains evolved for scarcity, for decisiveness, for simplicity. The paradox of choice reminds us that true freedom does not mean endless options. It means intentional, deliberate, and conscious selection. It is the art of choosing not everything, but the right things. So the next time you stand before dozens of possibilities, whether a product, a path, or a decision about your life, pause and ask yourself, which choice will serve me and which choice is a clutter? Which options are empowering and which are silently eroding my satisfaction? Because in a world overflowing with possibilities, mastery is not in choosing more, it is in choosing wisely. And perhaps the most profound realization of all is this: the fewer the options we consciously embrace, the greater the freedom, the satisfaction, and the clarity we experience. Paradoxically, by limiting choice, we unlock the full potential of human decision-making.